So what up 2K fans, we got some more NBA 2K20 news for you today. The majority of it coming from Mike Wang, which is what I've grown accustomed to during this time prior to 2K20's release. Mike Wang is usually relatively silent throughout the year, tends to only really say anything on social media when it's in reference to patches or updates to certain jump shots, or when it's necessary to have the community vote on a major change, very similar to how they took out pushing in NBA 2K19. So to kick off today's news, Mike Wang tweeted yesterday, "Are you finding it too difficult to get Takeover in the demo, or is the frequency okay? Let me know the max you've gotten so far in a single test game, and what Takeover you had, thanks." And as you can see, I voted yes, along with 65% of the community stating that it is too difficult to get Takeover. Now I'm talking about Takeover for my playmaker. Whenever I was using Takeover for my slasher, I seemed to get it at a normal pace. I saw a lot of comments after my vote that other people seemed to agree, so let me know in the comments as well. Did you think Takeover was perfect where it was, or did you find it very hard to get Takeover during the demo, and maybe after playing 4 quarters at 5 minutes, it just wasn't enough time for you to truly see how good your player was because you just never got Takeover? Mike also tweeted, "A lot of people have asked about this. Since we removed the shot contest rating in 2K20, we look at your interior or perimeter defense ratings, depending on where the shot is taken. There is a clip that's been floating around on my timeline where a guy was playing as a lockdown defender and Steph Curry still rained a 3 from probably 5 feet beyond the 3-point line in his face. Now he didn't have his hands up all the way at the time, but I still thought that was a tough shot. But I can see why some people would be complaining that there's no shot contest rating so we can actually see how well that shot was contested." Lakers Sosa asked Mike, "Does Needle Threader provide a shot boost for us since it replaced Pick and Roll Maestro?" Mike says no, Needle Threader improves pass accuracy and makes it tougher to intercept passes. If you want to buff the receiver's shot, you need Dimer. So basically Dimer encompasses Pick and Roll Maestro now. Needle Threader will make your passes more crisp as you make those dangerous passes in the passing lanes. I wonder how effective it is though, because if you guys remember 2K19 when it dropped, anybody in the passing lanes were lightning fast reflexes and could steal the pass anytime they wanted. Maybe with Needle Threader Hall of Fame, you get those Magic Johnson one-arm full court bullet passes. And I also wonder if the different tiers of Needle Threader like Bronze, Silver, Gold, and Hall of Fame increase the speed of the pass. Nightblade asked Mike, "How much of a negative penalty does Steady Shooter have on open shots?" Mike Wang says it's directly inverse of the bonus you get against covered shots. The more you trend toward taking contested shots, the higher you should probably upgrade the badge. If you rarely ever take contested shots, you don't want this badge at all. So for example, let's say you're playing as a slasher, a rim protector, or some kind of a lockdown defender. You tend to take way more open shots because people will give you those shots. Now let's say you're a sharpshooter or a shot creator and you take a lot of shots and they tend to be contested because people don't want to leave you open, you probably want Steady Shooter on. Now a question from Kobe. "At what ball handling attribute can I speed boost? Is it like 2K19 where it's 86 or is it different? Also, does the first step badge have anything to do with it?" Mike responds, "You need 86 speed with ball for tier 3 first steps. Speed with ball is 70% speed rating and 30% ball handling. Quick first step makes all your launches quicker regardless of tier. So in the demo, you can't see your speed with ball rating. You have to assume what your speed with ball rating is based on your speed and your ball handling. My suggestion is that you probably need to be a 90 speed and at least an 86 ball handling in order to get tier 3 first steps. So certain dribble styles might allow for faster launches when using quick first step." This response still leaves some question marks because you can't see your speed with ball rating at the moment. These are things that we're going to have to keep in mind when we're making our builds when the full game drops. OG Goon says, "Is it 70 ball control to be able to do the behind the back escape as well?" And he uses quotation marks. Not sure if that has anything to do with my dribble tutorial part 2, where I show people how to use the behind the back escape. Definitely one of the best moves in the game. If you haven't seen that video, I'll leave a link in the description. Mike says you can do them at 70, but they're not as effective as the tier 3 86 ball handle versions. Mike Wang is basically clarifying that you want to have an 86 ball control in order to pull off the faster, more effective moves in NBA 2K20. Mike's thoughts on stamina. He says we wanted people to think of sprinting as a resource instead of mindlessly holding the sprint trigger all game long. Pick and choose your spots to explode and then lay off the trigger. This goes for offense and defense, with and without the ball. Given how fast your stamina depletes in 2K20, you don't want to be spamming the sprint trigger. Lockup AD says, elaborate on Space Creator. Does it affect the actual step back dribble move or the step back off dribble shot? Mike says Space Creator affects both dribble moves and shots. I said this when I was raving about Space Creator after Community Day. It works good for snatchback dribbles and step back shots. If you're a playmaker, shot creator, or sharpshooter, you definitely want Space Creator. My man Alien J asked Mike a good question. Why did you remove the height cutoff for jump shooting? Logically, it makes sense. And Mike says we ran into a technical snag with the jump shot creator. That's the only reason. Some people hated that idea and a lot of people loved it. So the cutoff sounded like a good idea to some, but definitely was about to hurt a lot of feelings out there. My take is you probably need to run with a lockdown defender or be one yourself a lot this year. Smooth McGee says, how does shoot off dribble work? Mike says, we look at your base shot ratings, close, mid, 3-point, depending on where you're shooting from, and knock down your base shot percentage if you're shooting off dribble. Difficult shots will then offset that hit and bring your percentages back up depending on what level you have. So basically when you shoot off dribble, your shot percentage drops. When using difficult shots, it will help to balance that out. So if you have a low mid-range shot or 3-point shot rating, your shot percentage is going to be even lower when you take a moving shot. Difficult shots is not going to save you if you have low ratings. It's just going to help bring your percentages back up, probably back to even, not necessarily to help you make more fadeaways or contested shots when you already have low ratings. B. Harper says, with that said, how important is height and wingspan as it relates to your shot contest? Should we focus more on our defensive ratings instead? And Mike says they're all pretty much equally important. Yeah, don't think you can just make a lockdown defender with alligator arms, but you have a high perimeter defensive rating and think you're still going to get great results. You'll probably still get good results, but a taller player with longer arms is still going to affect the shot even more. Now here's a plea from the community. He says, remove quick draw please, there's really no point of it being a badge. Mike Wang says, being able to get your shot off quickly is an asset. We want it to cost you something, or else everyone will be able to do it regardless of their build choices. Now Bolding asks a really good question. The arrow you see on D in 2K20, is it only an indicator to where the offensive player is going? Is there a way to steal the ball easier if timed right? And Mike Wang says you'll be most successful if you reach when you're sitting on the ball hand side, during a dribble move, in a body up ride with someone else, during a fumble, or if you're coming from the blind side. So that's a great tip for all of you guys that are making defensive players and playing on the perimeter. And finally, this coming in from 2K Intel. Shout out to him, definitely follow on Twitter. He says that Ronnie 2K during his stream a couple nights ago said that clothing will transfer from player to player. You don't need to buy stuff twice for a different player anymore. This is huge because that definitely bummed people out every time they made new archetypes in 2K18 and 19 to have to repurchase all your accessories, shorts, jerseys all over again. And that kind of makes me wonder if you still have to repurchase tattoos and bikes and, different kinds of vehicles and stuff like that too. This also kind of reminds me of a tweet I put out last week where I said it would be dope if we could save outfits. The option to save a number of fits for the neighborhood, the pro-am, etc. would be cool. If you take a look at the closet option where all your clothes and accessories are, there's literally an extra square there right below suits where you could probably have that option. They do it in so many other games like Grand Theft Auto 5 and WWE 2K. I don't know why they don't do it in NBA 2K. Well anyways, this concludes today's news update. Hopefully I got you guys some information you can really sink your teeth into. As always, smack that like button to show your support. Let me know how you felt in the comment section. Turn on notifications and I'll see you in the next one. If you're a playmaker and you don't run floor general, you're messing it up for your teammates. I even tweeted that you have no excuse now. If your teammates are missing shots, it might be your fault for not equipping floor general. So if you start yelling at your teammates need to start asking you if you have floor general on. I tweeted out, ask not what your teammates can do for you, but what you can do for your bum ass teammates.